You're watching The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ MV Angela Yee, Charlamagne the Guy. We are The Breakfast Club. We got a special guest we haven't seen in a long ass time.
We found her.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ameriie.
We dug her up.
Where the hell have you been?
Where you been, Ameriie?
I've been out in the universe somewhere. No, I've been creating a lot of stuff. I've been working on writing.
Go talk to the mic. Talk to the mic.
Oh,
put your lips on the mic, beautiful.
Yeah, there. I've been working on a lot of stuff, new music, which is coming. Actually,
you haven't had albums out since 2009.
But she put out
a
song.
I didn't realize that, but I did a song. Mm-hmm. But I have an EP coming Friday, actually, and then I'm working on another one that I want to put out in July, and then I have an anthology coming out.
Okay,
it's like it's a villain themed anthology with a lot of best selling authors because I've been doing a lot of writing too,
which is fascinating to me. So, I love that.
I
love
got an English
writing.
degree, right?
I do, yes, and I love writing. Like that's what I did when I was really, really young. Mm-hmm. So my mom was like, oh, you're singing. I thought you were going to be a lawyer or a writer or something like that. But yeah, I'm excited about that. I'm working on a sci-fi fantasy trilogy.
What's been paying the bills though? Like, cause it's been a long time.
Well, publishing and little things here and there. Mm-hmm. Public music publishing.
Got you. So what you been doing? Shows or?
A little bit.
You selling weed, Ameriie?
A little bit. A little bit.
Okay.
I see your YouTube channel.
Oh, I have a booktube channel. See, the reason I would never have joined YouTube because some of my friends were like, why did you? I'm surprised you even did that because you're so private. But I was like, I read so many books. Like I read 50 to 60 books a year. And I was like, I don't have anyone to really talk about all those books with. Mm-hmm. I was like, I'll just join YouTube so I can geek out over books because there's like a book centric kind of thing on YouTube. Mm-hmm. So I just like to do that for fun.
Okay, so your books are you're signed to the same publishing company that Harry Potter books are?
Oh,
I saw you talking about Harry Potter.
Yeah. Bloomsbury. I'm doing the anthology with Bloomsbury and it's going really amazing. So I wrote a short story. I'm editing the anthology too. So it's great because I'm reading all of these stories that these amazing authors have written for the anthology. So it's kind of like a thing. It's funny too because all this writing, like when I went into the studio, one of the things like when I'm writing a record, like the melody can come at the same time as the lyrics or whatever, but I remember having this late session and it was for some reason the lyrics weren't coming and I was like, okay, it's like really, really late. It's like almost 1 o'clock in the morning. I still didn't get the words done, but this is going to take forever. And then the words actually came, so it kind of like made me better in writing music.
Right, that makes sense.
So what's
you
it
write
about?
Your own music.
What's this sci-fi thing about?
I don't want to speak too much on the sci-fi trilogy, but I will say that the anthology is called Because You Love to Hate Me, and it's about villains, like seeing everything through the eyes of the villain. Because I always love.
You didn't consult me on that.
I did. No, I should
the bad
have.
guy.
I should have.
Yeah.
You actually should contribute. You should write a foreword for it or something like that.
Okay.
But I always love the villain. Like I always, like in my movie, Tony Montana doesn't die. Like when he's at his highest, everything's all good. Gina, everyone's happy. In Breaking Bad, no spoilers, but the thing that happens is different. Nucky in Boardwalk Empire, he's good. Right. Tony Soprano, he's all right. Nino Brown,
You're
Old Dog
and
Admitted.
Movies, man. We got to get you out the house.
How you gonna tell somebody you're reading too much?
I said watching too many movies.
Evie just read the first book he's ever read in 10 years.
Some of these are old, but it's like, but I love that, and a lot of that has influenced my music too. So I have some ideas on how to incorporate some of the music stuff into my writing. I'm a big geek though.
Let's talk about your career. Everybody always says Ameriie should have been a superstar because she's pretty, she could dance, she could sing. What happened?
What
do you think
what
happened?
it is? It's timing. Like everything is timing. Like I'm a big believer in timing, and so I still feel like I haven't reached my peak yet. Like I feel like it's just because it was like just starting, and then kind of like I don't want to say things went left, but it's kind of like it's all timing.
It's like you went left. You just disappeared.
Yeah, what went left?
Really what it was is going from label to label. That's part of it. Mm-hmm. And one of the things for me is that it always took so long. Like I'm so happy now you can actually just put out music. It's a little different. It's a lot easier, but it's also so much more out there. Sometimes it's hard to cut through. But for me, I would record an album and by the time we're ready to put it out and because it's slow. Mm-hmm. I was like, I'm on to the next thing. I'm on to the next thing. That's why, like, Cymatic is a trilogy. I'm creating that. That's one sound. This thing that I have coming out on Friday called Drive. Drive. Mm-hmm. Drive is coming out in May, and then I have another EP that I'm working out that's coming out hopefully in July. That's the thing, because I'm like a very antsy creative person.
I heard you got OCD.
I do have a little bit of that.
Okay.
We just discussed
Yeah.
that when you walked in.
Yeah, because some people think it's just like organizing, but I am a perfectionist. Like that comes out somehow. Like people don't know when they see my CD, like my videos, I would do my video concepts. My CD, where the barcode is, I put the barcode where it's going to be on the CD, the album packaging, all that stuff. But it's beyond being a perfectionist. It's like you get these weird thoughts. I feel like everyone gets that, but it's like you might be washing the dishes and you're like, you might leave the fork in the bowl and you're like, the fork is drowning. The fork can't breathe. The fork is drowning.
you have
And
OCD,
you,
yeah.
The
so you
fork is drowning.
I know it doesn't make any
The hell?
sense. Or if I don't take the fork out right now, mommy's gonna get in an accident. Like it has nothing.
What?
That's what I'm saying. Like
Right.
So you've been doing drugs the
things-
past few years. You
No.
haven't
Now, some people say it was your
No.
relationship because you got
got
together,
married.
So you got
Oh,
with your
yeah.
manager.
Young.
You say your manager ruined your career.
and they said it was your
No.
manager who was also exec might have ruined your career. I know you heard that
No.
before.
No, I never really heard that before.
Stop it,
But
Marie.
I've never heard
It was
that.
articles about that.
But
Absolutely.
I don't read about myself. Though.
Got you.
Okay.
But I never heard that. But here's the interesting thing. The thing about it is, well, actually, he's actually very supportive. So actually, a lot of my creative energy comes from like just our relationship.
Y'all
and,
still
like,
together?
we do stuff. Yeah.
Okay.
yeah. But it's funny because no matter what, when you have a male and a female in a relationship, he's either the Svengali or the one that's like he's either pulling the strings or it's the other way around. Like, oh, he's just ruining everything. A woman can never just stand on her own and do her thing. It's always either she's being controlled or she's or she's being ruined. It's one of the. It's just sexist.
I agree with her on that.
Now he was an executive.
Yeah, he
when
was an
when you
executive at
signed, right?
Sony, right?
At the time, but we weren't working together at the time.
Okay.
And we worked together. That's how we met because he actually put me on my first tour and my first feature because he was executive producing Nas's projects too. So it's kind of like how I got started.
So you don't think he ruined your career in any way?
No, actually, he helped a lot of things. There were some things that I would like, I would hear and I was like, oh, I don't know about this. He was like, what are you talking about? Like one thing really came from his involvement. You
Gotcha.
know what I mean?
And let's talk about that because that was heavily go, heavily DC. It sounded so Maryland DC-ish.
Yeah, it's very, working with Rich. We actually did something together too. It's been a while, but we did something recently. But yeah, that sound, it was just a very fresh sound, I have a record, you might have heard it, Out Loud.
That's the
I
one that
don't
you
know
just
if you
put
heard.
out.
That's the one I just recently
Right.
put out that kind of has that flavor. But the drive record is kind of like a little bit different. My next EP is gonna have a different sound too. It's just I feel very creative. I feel really extremely creative right now. I'm like in a really creative zone. But yeah, it's funny because I know that I disappear and people are like, "Oh, what happened?" But it's because I don't like really chase after fame. Like that's not like my favorite thing is like I don't even really love red carpets. Maybe because of the OCD thing is to me they just give me a lot of anxiety. I don't love taking pictures. I don't really love that. And I mean, people ask me to do reality shows, but I'm not into.
That's not you.
That's not me.
You said you do music because you love to do it. Because
Exactly.
clearly you're a very intelligent woman. You could be doing anything
Thank you.
that you want to do.
Yeah, I
Except
just love
scripting.
to create.
Too smart for that.
Well, yeah.
Uh-oh.
No.
You did what you valuable for? Something you want to tell us?
Had to,
But if she wanted to
had
do
to
that,
pay
she'd be
your
the
way
best
through
stripper ever.
Georgetown.
that thought, I was gonna say except stripping. It just reminded me because people have it seems like my husband's always like, okay, everybody put on your feminist thing because I'm always like, that's so sexist. That's so sexist. And I'm not saying that I'm not saying that it's like, oh, stripping terrible, but at the same time, yeah, I don't know what I'm trying to say with that. I wouldn't strip though, only because I don't look down on strippers, but only
You're
because
saying just because you're
I'm
a
not
stripper doesn't mean
interested.
you're not smart. Right.
Yeah, that's very true.
That you can't just say, oh,
Like
you're too smart
people-
to be a stripper. This doesn't mean that there's people who strip to pay for college and go on and never do it again.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't really recommend stripping because I feel like you're kind of like exploiting your body, and it's a very sexist industry or whatever. But I also think that people tend to look at people who are strippers and they're like, oh, they're strippers, But then it's like, but you watch it, so you're still partaking in that. It's like you can't remove yourself from it.
It's like, okay, it's okay for me to watch it, but the fact that you're
Yeah,
doing it,
people be like, oh,
I
that's a
look down
porn
on you,
star.
but-
I look down
right.
on you, but
But
I
you
like to
watch
watch
porn.
porn. So it's like, you can't. It's like being judgy, I think.
Right.
Now, when you came out with the record, the one thing record, seems like after that record, a lot of people took that style and that sound Did you feel like a lot of people were biting off of it? Because when you came out, that was like a noisy record, but it worked.
It was really noisy because a lot of people were like, where is this going to fit in the mix? Where is this going to fit in the set? It was different. But I think Rich and I really, we helped to change music for that moment. I mean, and not just to say like, oh, I'm puffing myself up, but every artist, it's like every artist puts a brick, you know what I mean? Puts a brick in the wall. And it's like all the music.
Artists don't want bricks, Ameriie.
No, you're right.
You want hits.
Every artist puts a hit in the wall.
Gotcha.
And we are all in dialogue with each other. So music, whenever, especially when it's on radio, it's like it's gonna influence everyone.
But every artist started doing it after. I heard it from Beyonce. I heard it from Maya. I heard it from a lot of artists.
It influenced a lot. It did.
Was it a point where you thought Beyonce was trying to imitate you?
No, I wouldn't say that. I mean, a lot of people are gonna say different things, but it's like what I was saying. Like artists, we're all in dialogue with each other. So no artist is an island. You can't say, oh, well, I have no influences. And sometimes people try to say, well, I have an influence, like the 50-year-old ones from back in the day. But it's like we're all influenced by old music and current music. Like you can't get around it.
But y'all was on the same label.
Yeah, but that
Similar
never really.
sounds.
Then she started working with Rich.
We were on the same label, but that I don't think that did anything. I know Jay really liked he liked my album, he liked my record, and so
Jay
but
who?
he wasn't Jay-Z.
Are you Becky?
Shut up.
But somehow I was like, you know what? I bet you Charlamagne is gonna ask me that. Somehow.
But it was a rumor that you and Jay were.
Nah, I never heard that. Jay,
I never heard
I don't know
that
what
either.
MV's talking about right
I
now.
did.
Oh, I don't know what MV's
That was
talking
a long
about.
time ago. I did hear that.
I never
heard that
ever
one
heard
either.
that.
And I thought he was going to be on a remix to one thing at one time. Somebody did like a fake remix.
A DJ did do a remix to it, which I really liked, but it wasn't official. I'm glad he did it though, because I was like, oh, I like that. Thanks.
That had Jay-Z on it.
Yeah.
Did you ever feel
He's
like
one
you
of my
weren't?
favorite artists?
Did you ever feel like you weren't getting the resources you need because you were on Columbia and Beyonce was at the same time?
So I did, I did feel like that, but not for that reason. I felt like it because I was a new artist, and at the time, Sony had Beyonce, but they also had Jennifer Lopez, and it was, I felt like there was kind of like a lot of changes going on an executive level, and I felt like I wasn't getting the support that I needed, but not because of the other artists necessarily. I think it was just, I don't even really know what it was. I know there was a lot of turmoil though, and then I was with Rich, and then I was at the time with 2 production companies, so I think it was a lot of that too.
You think Beyonce stole your walk?
My walk?
Remember the Crazy in Love video when she was walking and the way he was walking and Why Don't We Fall in Love?
No, her walk is more of a runway walk, and my walk was more of a what a nice day, la 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 kind of walk. It was a different kind of vibe. I can do the other walk too, But,
would you want to sign to a major
different.
label now?
I don't know. I didn't have a bad experience. I can say that. It would really depend. I feel like I had a good experience in general. I just like to move and move quickly. I don't like to take a long time. Creatively, I never had a problem with anyone getting in my way. So I wouldn't be opposed to it. It would have to be the right situation.
Some people say nowadays labels don't really develop artists the way that they should, and that people don't do things like set up for an album to come out. And I know you like to do complete projects, and the whole setup process is kind of important. I know you like the fact that you can put music out and be more direct, but what do you think about labels not really developing artists and people just kind of throwing music out?
Well, when I first came into the business, like artists weren't really being developed by labels at that time. That was like the first time it was starting to happen. So I didn't really experience the whole like developing and all that stuff like that. When we came with my demo. That was like, those were the songs that were on the album. Like we recorded them. We did it all ourselves. That's why I never really had any creative issues with the label, because they knew I kind of came in with my own thing anyway. But I actually like that it's not so like, this is the first single, this is the second single, now we're gonna do all this. Because like, I always felt like you could do a video to your music if you wanted to, but it wasn't like required. Because I was like, these days with the way radio is, it takes so long to like get things on the radio. It's just, you just put out and let people decide what they want to hear. I don't think that you need a whole big setup. I don't even think you need an album anymore. Honestly, I personally like EPs, because I'm so kind of like, okay, let me do this, let me do that. This, I have the writing stuff going on. I like this sound and this sound, but I'm very big on my album sounding cohesive. So doing like an EP and an EP that sound completely different makes sense for me.
Now you're such a skinny mini. Were you ever
a skinny mini?
She's skinny. She's real skinny.
Are you body shaming?
No, my daughter's just as skinny. So anyway, have you ever? Did they ever try to press you to do enhancements, whether it's to make your butt bigger or breast bigger?
Ameriie.
No, and you know what? They never did. They never did. And that's the thing that I would love to see. Like there's so much pressure on.
What are you talking about, Ameriie?
I do have breasts.
I know.
And I love them because they're able to fit in a shirt. Like if they're all big, I might look top heavy in this shirt, or I couldn't like wear extreme V-neck, not and have it look the way that I want it to look.
Don't big shame, girl.
But I don't. No, I'm not saying that.
She's very model-esque, and
it's different kind of clothes for different shapes. You know what I mean?
right.
So
and you like being all real.
yeah, I like my shape. And one thing that I would love to see is, I feel like it's just so hard for women to just control their own image and their sexuality. For me, like for some women, they feel like they need to be naked, and I would love for girls to not feel like, well, if I want to be in the music industry, I have to be extremely. Before it was like, oh, you got to be super skinny. Now it's like the other way around.
Now it's like you gotta have.
It's like you gotta
fat ass. And
yeah, it's like no, just be yourself. All different body types can be sexy because sexy is a mentality. It's not the way you look. And if you're just trying to just look hot on the outside, I mean, beauty is a dime a dozen. There's so many beautiful girls, beautiful guys. Like it means nothing, right?
And FYI, all these people photoshopping their pictures and doing all that online, and then when you see them in person, you're like, you don't look anything.
Yeah, but everybody does that. Though.
Like you look.
Anytime you put a filter on your picture,
because you might have a little
some form of
pimple, you might want
Photoshop.
to fix it. But
No,
I
people
also
be
think
making
it
their
can
waist
make the people forget what real bodies look
it's
like.
unrealistic.
So it's almost like people forget, oh, that's what real breasts look like, or that's what a real shape, a big butt that's a real butt. Like even Jennifer Lopez's butt doesn't look that big anymore compared to like how it was
girls
like,
out here,
before. It was like, whoa. So I just think it's just important for women to see like a spectrum of things. Like, okay, fine, super sultry and body looks great in a bathing suit, but that's sexy. But then like a Paris Hilton skinny body, that's sexy too, because it's like a mentality. It's not just the way you look.
Did anything in the industry ever scare you? Like it was like pressures, like they always talk about the industry couches and things of that nature.
No, because
I feel like something ran you away for a while.
Oh no, nothing ran me away. It's just like I don't get intimidated. I have a strong mind, and that's another thing too. It's like people feel like, oh well, I'm gonna just be naked now, so I'm exerting my power like as a female. And there is like we have so much power in our sexuality because women are beautiful, and guys, you guys are kind of weak for it. You know what I mean?
The power of the PUS, that's why.
Which is fine. But like honestly, like maybe back in the day, like a woman exerting her sexuality was really powerful and afraid. It made executives afraid. But now really that's like the status quo. If you want to be naked and do your thing, and I'm not saying anything's wrong with that because I still have visions of like being nude on a horse. I want to ride a horse nude, and I still have that for video. And I was like,
What's stopping
I was
you?
like, it has to be it has to be the right song. It has to be the right moment. It has to be the right. I have a lot of things that I want to do, like, but it has to be the right time. But there's a time when that was like, ooh, no, even when I came out, they were like, the Why Don't We Fall in Love shorts. Those are kind of short. It's like, it's all right. It's my body, and I'm gonna do what I want to do. But at the same time, if I did like a men's magazine shoot, I did not like. It's like we wanted to wear this. This rack is nice, but why are there only bikinis on here? You know what? I'm gonna wear a wife beater, and that's not a politically correct term.
What's
it called? Tank top.
You can't say wife beater now?
No, it's like it's an A-line shirt or something.
I don't subscribe to all those new rules.
I'm gonna wear a tank top, and I'm gonna wear these leather pants. Why? Because I'm not really feeling like wearing a bikini, and just because I'm doing a men's magazine, and you're telling me to wear one, now I feel like you're controlling my body, and we're not gonna do that. So I feel like really now, for the way for women to be in control, it's no one's afraid of, oh, she's naked. It's like, all right, join the line. But a woman who speaks her mind and a woman who has something to say, and you can't control her, like male executives mostly, producers too, male producers, that's more frightening to the male executive than any woman taking off her clothes. It's like, take off your clothes and just shut up. That's really what the page is. Right. And it's like they don't want to hear you speak your mind. So I feel like that's...
They want you to have an Instagram, not a Twitter. They want to see you, not hear from you.
Pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much.
Is that one of the reasons you fell back, though? Because people was trying to control you?
I didn't have that issue. Me falling back really was not due to any external anything. It was really just...
We don't believe you, Ameriie. You've been gone for 20 years.
I know, but you know what? But it's really like... I was like, I'm creating this music, I'm gonna do that, and then for the last 5 years, I mean, I write anywhere between 4 to 13 hours a day. Like that's how, you know what I mean? That's how.
For who?
I'm working on stories and I'm in revision and I'm doing stuff.
And you read a lot of books.
With all that writing, your tweet should be fire.
And I don't really love Twitter that much. I like and Instagram is cool, but I don't love taking pictures.
Gotcha.
That's why YouTube works for me, because I can just talk to people. You know what I mean?
And she does. If you check out her YouTube channel, she does talk about a variety of different things, like the books that she reads. She talks about fashion, style, all of that.
Yeah, different stuff. So
What's the last good book
it
you read?
didn't. I read so many great books. Station 11 is really good. Americana, I finally read Americana. I have to read Between the World and Me, but
I love it.
you know what? Sometimes you just feel like you need to get in a mindset where, am I ready to get pissed off? Am I ready to get depressed? I'm not ready yet.
No, it's not
I don't want to get
off.
upset.
Like the stuff you see in the news will piss you off more than what's in Between the World and Me, because it's just a reflection of that. So it's really just a reinforcement of some thoughts that you probably already have.
So I need to go ahead and read. I have it. It's sitting on my desk. I just didn't read it. You should read Americana though, if you liked.
I read Americana.
Americana's great. I mean, she really dissects like race, class, gender, the immigrant experience, and it's just the real, like, so many amazing things in that book.
Did you ever feel the immigrant experience?
It's interesting because it's like, okay, I'm Black and Korean. You guys, are you Black and
Chinese.
Black and Chinese?
Right.
Okay. Is your mom from China or?
No,
is
my
she-
dad is Chinese.
and he's from China.
But no, he's from the United States, but my grandparents are from China.
Okay, so see, mine is like one. It's like one removed. So my dad's from Philadelphia. My mom is from South Korea. So in my house, like, it was weird because I was like, one side of my family, we've been here forever, built this country. The other part of me, my mom is from Korea. So I did deal with a lot of that immigrant experience. Like, it's one side is very American, but my mom is very old school, traditional Korean.
Right.
So it was like, she didn't understand the dating thing. She, it's just like some of the cultural differences.
I bet the chicken in your house was amazing though.
Actually, my mom makes really good fried chicken, and my dad makes really good fried chicken too, actually.
I know.
Yeah.
But how
And
did your dad's side of the how did your mom's side of the family feel about her marrying somebody Black?
they were fine because they really just looked at it as American. But at that time, it was tough to marry anyone American. Like, my mom says she didn't even realize there was like racism like that against
Gotcha.
Black people until she came to the States.
Yeah.
But when they came to the States, they were in Boston.
Oh.
And she was like, she didn't understand why some Americans were treating my dad differently when they're American. So it was just, she didn't really
She didn't understand the race thing.
understand it until she like witnessed it.
And you were a military brat, right?
Yeah.
So did you have trouble making friends growing up? Because you seem like the girl nobody would like.
What?
I mean, no,
Why?
because
Why
you're
would you
pretty.
say that?
No, because she's a nice girl, but she's pretty, so nobody would get the time to know you. They'd be like,
Here's
oh, you
the
think you're
thing.
better than everybody because you
No.
got real hair.
Well, she had a
It's-
sister
it-
close in age too. She has a sister close
Yeah,
in age.
Angela.
Okay.
See, Angela was like the popular one. I was the dorky one.
Really?
I loved, I played with Barbies until I was in 9th grade because I was making stories about them.
Yeah, that's dorky.
It's dorky. You know what I mean? I was like, I would put pillows against my window so no one would bother me so I could write and do dorky things.
Really?
And I never ever relied on my looks because, one, I didn't really think I was that cute when I was growing up because I was like, hair is frizzy, I don't know what to do. And I'm dorky anyway. So I feel like sometimes when you're too aware of your looks when you're growing up, it can handicap your personality.
Right.
Got you.
You know what I mean? Because sometimes it's just kind of like when guys are really good in sports.
Yes.
They have no game,
Right,
no
right.
personality. Sorry, not saying all the guys are like that
But
who
you know
play
a few.
sports. But I'm just saying because they're so good at what they do. They're used to people flocking to them and liking them just because of that. They never have to develop anything.
It's like having a
So-
big penis, but your sex game is whack. You just got a big penis.
Well, you
Just
guys
like
don't
that.
have to worry about that in here, but
Shut up. How you know? Now, question: why did you change your name? You changed the spelling of your name?
Cause you know what? Cause I'm just. Some people were like, it's just weird like that. Cause my parents were like, why did you do that? And I was like, I love it, but it just feels right to me.
So you just added an I?
I just added an
You
eye.
did it legally?
It's a thing now. Designer, he's got 2 eyes.
you did it legally.
No,
Yeah,
Negroes
yeah.
just can't spell.
Legally?
Yeah, I did because I was like, that's what I'm feeling.
So you told your
'Cause
mom
some
and daddy,
people
I
were
didn't like the way you spell my name, so I'm just gonna add an I.
You sure you didn't do that
I
for
was
Twitter?
like,
Because the Ameriie was
I
already
liked it
taken?
better. I'm positive.
Okay.
I'm positive.
So
Sure, I know I
you
did
officially have another I in the name.
So I officially do. And my parents were really sweet because they made sure they spell my name with the I in it. And my parents were the kind coming up, they don't even want to use nicknames. They're like, I named you this, and that's what I'm going to call you. How about Angela's like, how about you call me Angie? I named you Angela, I'm calling you Angela. Not
Jesus.
Angie.
Why are they so formal?
I know they loosened up way later, but so I added that in. And some people were like, is it because of a legal thing? Because some people asked me if it was a legal thing. Like Sony?
Yeah,
but,
like
but
you
I was
had
like,
to
no,
change
because
it.
that's
It's your name
That's my
anyway.
name
They
anyway,
can't
so
own it.
they couldn't do that.
How'd you get off Sony anyway? Did they drop you or did you get
No,
released?
because basically I had a conversation with L.A. Reid because we were always talking like for a long time, even when I was on Sony.
So you got dropped recently.
No, this is okay. Okay,
This is
let's back
before
up.
when he was with Sony.
When I was
Columbia,
with
Usher and all them. Okay.
yeah, I was with Sony first,
And then Def Jam.
and then I was kind of wanting to switch because I felt like it would just be better. Then I was with Def Jam because I had a conversation with L.A. Reid, and it was kind of like okay, and yeah, then I ended up being able to get off because I basically told them I wasn't happy. And sometimes people won't let you off. I had a good relationship.
I get it
with
now.
them.
So you had the Sony check. Then when you went to Def Jam, you got the Def Jam check.
Then
That's why I see. That's
So you
how
was
she
just
living
sticking
all that
everybody
time.
up.
then Def Jam, and then now I'm doing my own thing. And it's funny because like you it's funny because I still see songs that I've written like before, like used for so much stuff. Like Gotta Work was used so much for television. It didn't even come out here as a single, but they use it on a lot of movie things. And
So you get
I
nice
wrote that
checks
song in
quietly.
the kitchen. I was like, I remember. Yeah. So it's just
Is your
something.
sister? Angela's an entertainment attorney. Does she handle your stuff?
What school
She
did she go
handles
to?
my
I can't
stuff.
remember.
She does Soulja Boy. She does a lot of producers.
What school did she go to?
Angela went to Hampton.
Oh, Hampton University.
He just
right.
wanted to hear you say that 'cause he's a Hampton alumni.
Oh, yeah. Oh,
That's
you
all.
know.
You know,
It's like Hampton alumni is
That's
very
right.
proud.
Just
Right?
making sure.
How long you been
Couldn't
married?
remember.
I've been married. We've been married for almost 5 years now.
That's interesting because they
That
always
seems
say
long.
Well, because
time.
only 5 years, but we've been together for almost 13 years.
Yeah, they,
well they always say don't mix business with pleasure, but it worked for you.
It worked. It worked for us. Why are you overlooking at the time, Envy?
No,
Are
I'm
you
fixing
bored?
my
Am I
Hampton-
boring you?
I'm
No,
fixing
okay.
the Hampton poster. I done messed up my Hampton poster.
No, it worked because one of the things that I love is that sometimes you can be in a relationship with someone and they'll kind of like they'll be afraid and they'll hold you back.
Right.
You know what I mean? But he's never been like that.
Like you're not going in the studio with him, or
Yeah, he's always been like, you can do anything. And even when I'm like, okay, this is what I want to do. Like one of the things that I've been wanting to do with Cymatic was I wanted to make it a film. I actually met with some directors like a few years ago, just trying to like see how we could turn it into a film, but like in a way that I haven't seen done yet. And he was just like, yeah, go for it. Like I always have such big ideas, and that's why I understand. Like I love Kanye because I feel like I understand him as an artist as far as one could when they're not that person. Because I feel like I have such big ideas. It's frustrating. Like nothing's worse than a frustrating
Oh Lord, you about to
artist.
ask Nike for 50
No.
million. Oh Lord.
Like, because I'll have big
Little more than
ideas.
that.
I'm like, I want this, and we're gonna have this, and I want it to snow. We need it to snow on the timing has to be right, and these people. And if it's like, well, we need to scale it down for the, I don't want to do it. Just forget the whole thing. Just forget everything. Because if I can't do it the way I want to do it, just
then I'm
forget
not
it.
doing it.
It's like the realities of working within constraints. You know what I mean?
So how does your husband factor into that?
Oh, because he just is like he's encouraging, and that's what I like. Because
Gotcha.
a lot of times, different people I came across in the music industry, they might be like, "Oh, I don't like no, I don't like let's do it like how it's been done."
But you don't want everybody to agree with you all the time either.
No, because he'll tell me like, well, sometimes he'll be the one to say you need to start with this and then get to that. But I don't like, oh well, maybe you just need to just do it like this. And thankfully, I've had people around me who are really creative and really just like next level. Bless you. Next level when it comes to let's just do something different.
Now he
'Cause I
pushes
remember-
too. He used to come to the club to make sure I played a record. He would hit me, text me, email
Hey, he
me.
hit you?
Yeah,
Not hit me
no.
physically. even when he hit me about a month ago, I was like, really? I was surprised he still had my email.
What you mean really? Because it was Ameriie?
Yeah.
Yes.
You're like, dang, Ameriie's still around?
No,
It's
not
so
like
funny
that.
That's
because
disrespectful,
Not
Envy.
like that.
I check on Ameriie from time to time, by
Yes,
the
he
way.
does.
Yes, I do.
and he does too. I think just not as often as you do. Though.
Yeah.
But you've always been really cool. You've always been supportive, like ever since like the beginning.
Yeah.
Like the beginning.
I like talent. I mean, at the end of the day, that's all I care about. I care about talent at the end of the day. Ameriie's a talented individual.
Absolutely.
I just don't understand why she just decided to moonwalk out the game for a little while.
You know what it is? If I were a different person, what probably would have happened would be, all right, the 2009 album, and then I would have done the reality show, and then I would have done something else, an endorsement. But the thing is, I have to do things that I believe in. Like,
Gotcha.
I've turned down really good endorsements because I'm like, you say the shoe does that. I need to test out the shoe. I don't really believe that it's going to build up your calf because I know that's
You
not
really
what
have-
happens.
yo, you really
so,
about it. I'm not mad at you.
No, I'm for real. I'm just like, because if I say that I'm behind something or if I believe in something, whether it's my music or whether it's whatever, I'm like, I'm not telling you to go buy this shoe.
Not just for a check.
Or
You
to
wanna
eat
make
this
sure
thing.
you
If
believe
it's
in it.
not going to, they're like, oh,
You
legs.
made that much money?
Can
Let
you
me
do-
Google your net worth real quick.
No, but it's like I'm not
Okay,
gonna.
okay.
I'm not
What
gonna.
did it say, Charlamagne?
3 million?
Okay.
Solid 3 million. You know what I'm
I think
saying?
it's a little more than that. I think it's more than that.
Solid
though,
3 million.
I don't like to talk about money, but I have to stand behind it. So yeah, you would have seen like, oh yeah, this shoe and eat this and reality show and da da da. But I'm not. That's just not me, and I'm not interested in that. So
What would an Ameriie reality show even look like?
Yeah. She's like, I'm not getting
Next
on
time.
TV. Just to
next episode. But I'm really serious. I don't take myself really seriously, but I take what I do very seriously. So, and even reality shows. I mean, I'm just not doing that.
It don't seem like you talk a lot either. Like you don't see a lot of Ameriie interviews just floating around out there.
She talks on her YouTube.
On my
You
YouTube.
On your
Yeah,
YouTube?
you really need to go look at that. But you see Mariah
does
Carey's
on
doing a
YouTube.
docuseries.
Oh, is she?
Yeah, that's going to be on E, right?
Yeah.
That should be pretty. I am kind of interested.
Docuseries is nice because a docuseries is short, so it's like a certain time. And also with reality shows, it's like story. There's a narrative. There's a beginning, a middle, and an end. You know what I mean? That's why the Kardashians work. Because each episode is actually a story arc. So you're not making a story arc out of my real life, and I'm not gonna pretend I smacked up Angela Yee at the thing and we got into a fight and she like punched me in the face.
Yeah,
'cause
good,
it's
great for
like-
ratings.
Yeah, good for ratings. Good
If
for
both of y'all
ratings.
broke out in martial arts, that'd be great for ratings.
Yeah, that's
Shut up.
Sounds a little racist.
I know, but no, actually, I do want to learn Taekwondo though.
Now, people are going to watch it because people want to know what happened to you because, they got all these conspiracy theories
it sound like I
online.
died.
No, they had this, Tattletales had this thing online that said you didn't make it because of karma. Because they said that your man was married when you got him and you
He was
broke up
never
his
married.
happy home.
No, he was never married before.
Or he was with somebody
He
or
was
something.
never married. No, and he was never with anyone. When we got together, he was a single guy.
Okay.
Yeah, so I wouldn't do that. But it's funny because people always like to say, that saying. I was having this conversation with someone. They were like, "How you get him?" They were
It's how you-
going
how
through
you get
something.
'em
They're
is
like,
how
how
you-
you get him is how I was like,
Yeah.
How you meet him is how you keep
How you
him.
meet him,
I'm
how you
like,
keep 'em,
not really, because there are a lot of girls who are really faithful whose guys leave them and cheat on them, and I don't think they did anything.
Right.
So it doesn't really work.
Yeah, it's
that
not
way.
really true.
It doesn't really work.
So you
that
would
way.
never do that.
I wouldn't do that.
Gotcha.
No, I wouldn't do that because that's just not cool. Like I wouldn't do that.
All right, don't say that and then this guy's ex baby mom pop up online with
No,
her
she
own YouTube video saying how you a home wrecker.
No, she wouldn't say that because she knows that's not true either. So
Gotcha.
She wouldn't say that.
Who is she?
The person. Oh, no one knows who it is. It's not.
Oh, okay. I was like,
No,
is
it was
it
this
a
whole
real
thing. It was this
person?
whole thing on this site. It was like he was
Yeah.
in a relationship and she was pregnant, and you called the girl and told her he's with me now.
You tell her, girl.
That's
Wow.
tell her,
I
girl.
would. That's really trifling. I wouldn't do that.
You don't seem like that type.
No, I wouldn't do that. But it's really. I guess I should. Really, where I was in this Illuminati thing.
Really?
Like yes.
Did you sacrifice gerbils?
I did not, but there was some other stuff going on. So that's really where I was all this
I
time.
knew it.
Got you. So what, they dusting you off now and they saying, okay, Marie, go. You've sacrificed enough humans for the past 7
Yeah.
years.
That's what it is.
So we're going to get
That's
more
where I
music,
was.
right? More
What's
often.
next? What's in the immediate future for
Yeah, please.
Ameriie?
So we get some music
okay,
now.
The
so
EP Friday.
The EP Friday.
What's the
Then
name?
I'm
many
working on.
songs?
It's called Drive.
Okay.
I think it's 5. Is it 6? 5. I think it's 5 because I'm working on another one I want to put out in July. And then I'm still working on Cymatic, which is a trilogy.
Okay.
So that has to be right. It
And
has
that's
to
the
be,
movie. That's the one
that's
that has
it's
the
like
movie
a movie.
idea.
It feels like it's just that's the one that is it's got to be right. And then I have the anthology coming out in July. And then I'm working on a sci-fi fantasy trilogy.
What's Drive about? Why is it called Drive?
Drive? Because I just wanted it to
Like
feel
ambition?
like good, like when you put it. No, like when you put it in the car, like
Okay.
driving
Drive to
music.
it. I love
You can
driving
just like listen
music.
to you can just listen to it from beginning to end, and it's
Gotcha.
like a certain mood. That's why it's like 5 songs. That's
Yeah,
why
it's
there's
a short
another
ride.
EP. Yeah, it's like a short ride, or you can repeat.
Nice summertime vibe?
It's it is a spring
Yeah.
summertime vibe. Yeah.
That's where you excel at. That summertime
my
music,
vibe.
that Valtrex commercial, like people sitting outside,
Valtrex commercial.
trees blowing, sun shining. Like that's
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I love that you associate my music with Valtrex.
no.
That's dope.
I'm talking about the scenery in the Valtrex commercial.
Like,
Who directed One Thing? Was that Benny Boone?
no, oh my goodness, why is it like this is the worst? Because I'm like, he's gonna kill me.
Let me Google it for you. That's
Thank
what
you.
Google's
We'll let
for.
you know. Okay.
I co-directed it with, what? Sometimes I think something's going. I don't know if it's all early. I feel like I'm losing my memory sometimes. What? Who was it?
It says
Tell me.
directed by Beyonce.
She did.
She did? No, stop.
Wait.
Lying ass.
No, Chris
My
Robinson.
boy, Chris Robinson.
Robinson.
Yes.
Okay.
And it was fun because we
guy.
just had like I had the whole vision that I wanted as far as like the gold and then this French noir kind of sexy scene with the bed, that kind of thing.
Right.
I wanted to be sexy, but I didn't want it to like be like, too much. There's like clean sexy and dirty sexy, and dirty sexy is good too, but it depends on what you.
Tastefully sexy.
Yeah, dirty sexy can be nice as well. So I'm not against dirty sexy. It's just you got to just figure out what you're going for.
Which sexy are you at now in your life?
I like the way you look at her up and down like that. You know
I
she's
didn't even
married.
look at her up and down.
He would not look at me like that.
Exactly. I didn't even look at her up and down.
I don't know. I don't.
This guy's crazy, man.
What's
He's
going on right
on
here?
drugs.
I don't know, because you know what? I never really think of myself like as like sexy.
Really?
I never did. No, I know, because I remember people would be like, "What do you think about being a sex symbol?" And I was like, I think it's funny because I've never seen myself like that.
I told my homeboy that you was coming up here this morning. He was like, "Word, she's still sexy as So yes, people think you're sexy.
He's not in the
You're
hallway, is
sexy.
he?
That's
No.
Okay. Good.
And you got nice teeth.
thank
really
you.
nice enamel.
Thank you.
You haven't missed any dentist
try to
visits,
keep
even
it-
though you haven't been around in the past.
Yeah, I try to keep it right.
Gotcha.
Try to keep it right.
Well, we appreciate
But
you
I'm-
joining us.
Oh, that's the outro. That's his.
What?
You've been looking at the time.
You don't have to leave if you
He's
don't
been.
want to.
He's like. It's like, yeah, but nice enamel. Well, we appreciate you being here.
I mean, listen, anything else you can get out me?
No, I'm just enjoying seeing you guys.
We're enjoying seeing you.
I'm really enjoying.
Is this,
know,
your,
right?
this your
We
first
haven't
interview in a
seen
long
you.
time?
Having time.
This your first interview in a long time.
It is my first interview. Well, I did a couple related to the book, but that
So
was.
you did
like
put out a book?
No, it's coming out soon.
Okay.
Oh, you
Like,
listening?
the
I
announcement.
don't know what he's doing.
The announcement. But yeah. So it's the first time talking about music. I'm just
Gotcha.
excited because it's like I feel like
Inspired.
really inspired these days, and I've really been I've been really feeling Drake's album, The Weeknd,
Okay.
and yeah,
So you haven't
Rihanna's-
been inspired all of these
Lemonade was
years.
good. There were periods of time where I really wasn't inspired.
Yeah.
There were periods of time where I just wasn't just like loving anything, and that happens sometimes. You know what I
Right.
mean? But now I'm at a point where I'm like, yes.
You know what I wanted to know? I heard the label didn't want to put out one thing at first because it was too noisy.
They
That true?
didn't. The word. It was.
What
It
I mean,
was.
noise.
It was. It was not. It
You
was.
make
It
it sound
was.
like you just a noisy little kid just making all of this noise.
At first, they didn't. They didn't want to put it out
sounds
at first
annoying.
because it was too linear, quote
Linear,
unquote.
that's the word I use.
Linear.
That's the word.
And I get it. It's
I don't even know what
just-
that
it's,
means.
You know,
So that-
noisy.
I thought
Yeah.
I had to do it out of space.
Yeah, at first, that's the first thing I said. I said linear, and then it was like, well, the melody doesn't change, the thing doesn't change. But I was like, but it just feels good, so you just have to go on instinct. But I get it if everyone's not gonna get it.
Right.
Gotcha.
And that's so I'm not like they didn't know what they were talking about. It's like there's songs sometimes I might not like at first, and then they grow on me. So
I'm glad you said you like Lemonade album, though. 'Cause I remember everybody was trying to start something between you and B because you put out that mixtape and they said you had threw
Yeah.
some bars at Beyonce.
yeah, no, it was just like I was just having fun, but it wasn't like it was aimed at anybody. You know what I mean? But I really like I haven't listened to Lemonade without I only saw the visual album once.
Gotcha.
But I really loved it. I thought it was really creative, and it just I loved how it added the different elements, poetry and the story, taking the story and adding a different layer of context on there with the black female experience. So I thought it was really creative.
Do you think that when people thought you threw shots at Beyonce, that kind of hurt you too? Maybe a little bit. Maybe the industry was like, let's put
No, I don't
let's
think
stop
so.
that.
I don't think people really care about that at the end of the day. Really, because
Ask Carrie Hilson.
who's well, but see, if Carrie comes like with a record that everyone's like, oh, I love this record. I mean, here's the thing that's really interesting about human nature. I feel like sometimes people feel like, oh, well, that hurts you because of this. It's like people just want to listen to music. They want to ride in their car with your music. You can do pretty much almost anything terrible.
Right. If your songs
Way
are
beyond
grease,
saying something bad about somebody.
That's true.
And it's like if
Kelly
you can make
peed
people
on a 13-year-old girl allegedly.
yeah. So if people, you can make people dance and you can make people move, they don't really care about anything.
they were
else.
still playing that Gary Glitter theme song at baseball games.
Who the hell is Gary Glitter?
Yeah, I was
You don't
like-
know the
I
story
have no
about
idea.
Gary Glitter?
No.
you guys should look him
When
up.
you said, you're like, you don't know the story about
He's
Gary
a rapper,
Glitter?
but he molested all these kids, but they still use his song as like the anthem at baseball games.
Oh.
Maybe I
know the
never
song,
heard. I never
if you
heard.
hear
I
it.
never heard that.
Well,
But see,
and-
that's
You guys
that's the
after.
thing.
Well, we wish you the best, Ameriie.
Thanks,
don't
guys.
make
Don't
Don't
don't-
say wish me the best like you're not going to see me again.
I don't know with you. You might
He
just
comes out on
disappear.
Friday.
We don't know.
I know, but
We wish you the best.
I'll always be in your hearts.
Yes, always.
There we go.
That's
I'll
my
check on
thing,
you
is
from time
like-
to time. Don't start nothing with the Beehive. Just come out, do the music, write the book, and come back up here to promote the book.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'll
When's the
see you
book
before then. I'll see you before July.
I don't know what you,
hope-
Ameriie.
I
I
hope.
don't think you should make those kind of
You make me
promises.
sound like the Christmas fairy or the great
like a black
pumpkin
father.
or whatever.
He's coming back and never
Yeah,
does.
you coming back, but never come back.
My
Just
goodness.
here for another
I'll
7
see you
years.
at 3 o'clock on Friday. Wait for me.
You can pick up from school and leave
on
it there by
Friday.
yourself. All right. Well, it's the Breakfast Club. It's Ameriie.
Okay, you got your hair done. Your hair looking fresh and fly today.
Thank you. I got my hair done. Now, you know the crew at Her Imports totally hooked it up. You see how good I look? I see why they're taking over this hair game, because nobody has hair this good.
I see these weave companies on Instagram everywhere.
I know, right? It's a hot mess. Every reality star or rapper jump off is trying to sell hair on Instagram. Her Imports are the industry pros. They have the real Indian hair. Y'all don't know? Check out the video on their website, herimports.com.
The Breakfast Club. Every weekday morning. Tune in.